Howdy YouTube, and welcome to another episode of the Gunman. So today I'll be taking you guys through the prepare, repair and repainting procedure on these wheels. So they're off a Peugeot 3008 and you may notice that they're a two-tone wheel. Now we're not going to get involved in that. I said to the manager, I'm like, man, there is no way I'm going to be spending hours and hours masking that up. If you want that done, you can take it to a mag wheel place. Look, I said, look, I'm happy to just paint it one color and we'll just paint all of them. He's like, yep, that's totally fine. One thing I like to do with wheels is, where possible, I'll try to sand the damage out because, yeah, there's obviously less filler is better, but some of the deeper ones you're obviously going to have to put some filler in, and what you see me doing now is just getting a little bit of maybe 180 grit. I think I was using 180, 320, 240, either of them, any of them would pretty much do the job, but what I was doing is just sanding to clean up the inside of the scratch just so that we're going to get good adhesion with the body fillers, which you see me putting in now. So the filler that I'm using is a UV cured body filler. Nuva is the brand. So Nuva have two different UV cured fillers. They've got the fine one, which is this, and then they've got the rough filler or the coarse filler for like deeper scratches. So one thing that you'll notice about UV fillers, it has to be sort of semi-transparent. This one has obviously got that green tint to it, so yeah, it's designed for mainly stone chips and pinholes, but like a small scrape like these is totally fine. Anything like a reasonable sized dent, and I would use the other one. They've got a pink one. It's more on the clear side, so you can go a little bit deeper. But yeah, the most important thing with UV cured fillers is don't go too thick with it. If you do go too thick, well then the light will not penetrate down to the bottom, and obviously it's not going to cure properly. But all I give them is a zap for like 10 to 15 seconds and that's it, it's cured. It's wild stuff, it's amazing, and it saves us hundreds of dollars in, yeah, well, it makes us hundreds of dollars in productivity. I could not imagine having to go back to using only polyester based body fillers. Look, I do use them sometimes, but yeah, look, if you're in the smash repair industry and you're not using UV tech, wow, you're really missing out. So don't be a boomer with it. If you're in the smash repair industry, at least get a demo or something. I highly recommend it. If you take one thing out of this video and you're in the smash repair industry, get on UV tech, guys. It is amazing. So yes, there's going to be a little bit of you know, learning and you know, an adjustment period, but the reason I sort of hammer it home is because I know the attitude that you may have, because you know why? Because I did have that. Like, I wasn't sold on it at the start, and I was like, no man, I had the big ego. I'm like, no man, I've been doing this for blah blah blah. And I slowly did start to come around to it, and you wouldn't look back. But like I say, there is some things that you might adjust to, and don't just use it one or two times and just say, oh, it's not like 2-pack, I don't like it. There are some things to learn about it, like it may not sand as well, right? But it's a small price to pay. When I'm in the booth, I'm baking my clear out, you're still baking your primer out. You know, your 2-pack filler hasn't even dried yet. So the upsides definitely outweigh the downsides. But all of that aside, I did have to put some UV primer onto some of those, the sections where I put the body filler, obviously, because I still felt like a slight low spot there. But yeah, you can just prime it, sand it out, put another little bit of primer on, and you can, yeah, so that's one thing that some people might think about the UV is that you don't get as much build, but yeah, you can build it up in layers, and you'll still be way ahead of putting, say, 4 coats on and then having all the shrink back that you'll get with your polyurethane primers and your dry times and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, here we are in the booth masking it up. Obviously, I finished off all the prep with 400 grit, so I'm just going to paint these wheels in direct gloss 2K, so actually not going to do them in clear over base. It just makes it easier, quicker and easier. So these wheels here are off like a loan car of ours, so they didn't have to be perfect, they didn't have to match anything, all that they just had to match themselves, right? So I just got some D721, which is PPG Deltron direct gloss 2K, put hardener in it, fast thinner, bang, off you go. But yeah, I thought I would include some of the masking footage here because a lot of the time I do skip it out, but Hopefully you can grab like a tip or two on the way that I mask a wheel up. You might also notice that we got the bead popped, so we took the wheel down to a tire place, and they just popped that. They pulled the valves out, popped the bead on the wheel, and then it just makes it easier I could do those repairs right around the edges, and it makes it easier to mask and all that stuff. Also take note that I put a little bit of masking on the inside so that we're not covering the inside with excessive overspray. And once I got all that done, I'm putting a little bit of one-shot, this is actually an epoxy one-shot aerosol primer, just over the bare metal bits. Like, I was 50-50 on it. I was like, could I put some wet on wet down? But wet on wet, you can sort of get a little bit of dry spray in some of those edges, and I just decided it was going to be quicker and easier to put a little bit of one-shot etch down. So I've got the heat on in the spray booth when I'm doing that, and then give it a couple of minutes to dry. It won't take long. Then a 1000 grip pad just to scuff it down, just so that the color's going to stick, and off you go. Yeah, I've found that with those one shots, you do have to be careful, because if you use like 800 grit, you can just cut straight back through to the metal, and then you got to put more on. It's like, it can get a little bit frustrating. Once I'm happy I've got them all cleaned down nice and thoroughly, that's actually another thing worth mentioning, is that before I even did start doing my repairs, we got the boys to take it out the back and give it a degreaser and a high pressure clean, because it's quite often that people will put silicone based tire shines on their wheels, so you really do want to make sure that you get all of that off. Now, this is our loan car, so we know that they don't use silicone based tire shines, but if you sort of sense that sliminess on the wheels, just go to town on them, degrease them, double degrease them, thinners them, prep sole them, just go to town on them. It's definitely doable, but yes, just go triple, quadruple clean them. This one here, I knew what I was dealing with. We don't use those tire shines, plus they did give it that initial clean. So the gun that I'm using is the A&I Compact, and I've got the 1.0mm fluid tip on it. Yeah, I usually use this gun for like little spot repairs and stuff like that, but I decided it was going to be perfect for wheels, because yeah, one of the last things that you want is to get runs off those spokes. I've been there, done that. Another little bit of advice when you're painting wheels is don't go for perfect, right? So I used to go and try and put 2 nice wet coats over the whole thing, all the edges, and sometimes I would get lost, right? Because I hadn't quite honed in on my current method of spraying wheels, right? So what I do now, 1 coat over the faces, right? So I don't even go for the edges on my first coat. You might have noticed the first coat was only on the faces, right? So you get 2 coats on the faces, 1 coat on the edges. First coat on the face, then you pick the where the valve is, right? So then you go around in the entire circle, do that side of the spoke. Then you turn around, do the other side of the spoke, so you've done both inner spokes. Then you do these little inner sections, then you do the outside inner sections, and if you can follow me there, you're doing pretty well. But and then we go and do the very outer rim, and then we do 1 more wet coat over the face again. So hopefully that makes sense. If it doesn't, just mute me and watch what I did. But it's quite simple. Like, you've mapped the wheel out. And obviously having that spoke as, the valve as your start and stop point definitely helps. And again, one other little bit is don't go for perfect. They don't need to be perfect on the inside of those spokes. As long as they're black, that's what I would go for, right? As long as they're black, it's okay. Yeah, obviously the kind of wheels that you're working on, if you're working on Lambo wheels, you might want to slow down and sort of take a little bit more time and just make sure you're happy with every single little bit. But generally I don't overthink it, right? I don't overthink spray painting at all. I just get in there, just do it. It's either good enough. If it's not, well, then we'll redo it. But generally working on autopilot works pretty well for me. I was pretty happy with the way that these wheels come up. Hopefully you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Check out all my other socials, but there's actually not many of it anymore in the description because Facebook banned me again for absolutely no reason. Now, there might have been a little bit of a development. I actually listened to a radio show where a woman, she posted a photo of her dogs looking out the window, and then she got done for potential child abuse material, right? And you know what? I posted a photo of my dogs looking out the window, sitting on my bed, and I said, the caption was, "I love my dogs. That was the night before my ban occurred. Wild stuff, guys. Anyway, that's just a bit of an update on that. Hopefully you enjoyed watching. Till next time, get out there and paint some shit. Coming out.